Hello, it's Kevin from Bayside Technical Services. On eBay, our store name is the Tuttnauer Autoclave store. We've been on eBay since October of 1998. We were basically the first seller of brand new Tuttnauer Autoclaves on eBay. Since then, we've done fairly well with this brand. This is a brand that we believe in. We're pretty passionate about it. And we can tell you the differences between all the different makes and models out there, and we actually think that the Tuttnauer is the best machine, and it's also one of the easiest machines to work out in the field as far as a service standpoint goes. And we do like their electronics. They're very stable compared to some of the others, and the cost of replacement parts is comparable to all the other machines out there. And in some instances, it's a lot less money to repair a Tuttnauer in the field than it would be, say, mid-mark. Which brings us to another point. There's been a lot of used autoclaves for sale on eBay lately. I think that's because of the current market situation and the business climate. Everyone's trying to save a couple bucks. My problem is being involved with autoclaves for the last 17 years. I can basically look at an autoclave, I can read an item description, and I can make a decision in 10 seconds or less as to whether or not that's going to be a good machine. A lot of times I'm looking at, say, a Tuttnauer autoclave, and I know it's 10, 15 years old. The seller will show a picture of the inside of the machine. It's completely dirty. That tells me the machine hasn't been taken care of and that the routine maintenance probably hasn't been done on that particular machine. And what sends up another red flag to me is when the seller says, you know, we've picked this machine up, we've tested it, the lights go on, it heated up when we put water in it. That means nothing to me. Unless you physically take the cover off one of these machines, you can open up the valves, you go through them, you run certain tests on them, you can put pressure test gauges on them, you can check the internal temperature of the chamber while it's running. You don't know how a machine's running. Okay, if you don't ohm out the heaters on these machines, you don't know what shape they're in. My favorite is there's a guy out there, he's got a metal cup, and in the metal cup he puts some sterilization indicator tape on it, throws it in the autoclave and says this machine's been tested and it works because it turned the tape black. Well, I'll tell you what, a machine that's not working right is going to turn the tape black on the indicator tape. Okay, it's just the way it is. I just laugh at some of the stuff I hear on eBay. It doesn't make any sense. I see autoclaves being sold without power cords. I see autoclaves being sold without trays. I see autoclaves that have obviously been damaged in shipping, and they're trying to resell it as damaged goods. Cosmetic damage on an autoclave can cost you $700 in parts just to make it look nice. So there's a lot of pros and cons of buying used equipment. The best way to buy used equipment would be through a dealer like myself, who is an authorized sales and service dealer for a particular company, who's been doing it for, say, 17 years, and who's also been factory trained at the factory, the manufacturer of the machine itself. If you're buying a Pelton and Crane, you get a guy that's a Pelton and Crane dealer. He's been doing service on it for 20 years. He's probably the guy you want to buy the machine from. Same thing with mid-mark. You get a guy that's been doing mid-mark service for 10 to 20 years. He knows those machines inside and out. He's not going to sell you a machine that doesn't work. Okay? He's got a reputation to uphold. Same thing with myself. I'm a Tuttnauer dealer. I've been with Tuttnauer since 1992. I have a reputation, certain standards to uphold, and it's embarrassing to send a machine out that doesn't work. I had one recently where we had a little issue with it in shipping. I went to Texas. I was able to call a dealer I know in Texas. I sent him to the doctor's office, took care of the machine in about 10 minutes. Okay, then he spent another 45 minutes going through the machine, just basically checking my work to make sure I didn't miss anything. End of the story is, doctor's completely happy, and he knows he's got a machine that works because he's had two different people look at it that are familiar with it that said this is a good machine. Okay, you don't get that in most instances on eBay. Okay, you get a guy that's picking stuff up at an auction. You get a guy that maybe pulled something out of a dumpster. Okay, or you got a guy that was just basically given something as a gift to say, hey, you've done this other work for us. If you want this body, take it with you. You make a couple bucks with it, great. Okay? See it happening all the time. I got examples right now down in my shop of autoclave bodies I could take pictures of and show it to you. Some horror stories. Okay? I'm not saying that every instance is a horror story, but what I'm saying is buyer beware. Read the fine print, look at the pictures carefully. If the machine looks dirty, it's dirty. If it is dirty, that means it hasn't been taken care of. And if it's being sold by a dealer and the dealer's not cleaning that up before he puts the pictures out, shame on him or her. Okay? This is professional. If you're going to sell a piece of used equipment, it needs to be cleaned, inspected, tested, repaired, calibrated, and then retested and recalibrated to make sure it's perfect for use in your office. Okay? And if you're not buying something from a dealer and you're going to put it into service in your office and your patients are at risk, you need to have it biomedically checked before you use it on the instruments that are going to be used on your patients. Okay? Same thing with a machine you buy from me. My machines are good to go. I'm sure most other dealers' machines are great to go too. It never hurts to double check the work. Your patients trust you to take care of this situation. They put their lives in your hands and assume that you're going to do your due diligence and sterilize these instruments properly using equipment that's been well maintained and looked after. Any questions? My email is sales@mytuttnauer.com. My phone number is 508-735-4817. Give me a call, shoot me an email. I'll be more than happy to talk to you. Thank you.